Welcome back to my channel. This is just Chris. I'm in a different little atmosphere today, so hopefully that's okay. I've been seeing a lot of YouTube channels about like story times, so I wanted to do a little story time today. It's gonna be about the first time I went on a hike. And hiking is not actually my thing. I don't typically do hiking, but I decided to do it this time, and I decided just try a little something different, because every country that I go to, I try to do something different. You have to excuse the noise. I'm outside because I'm trying to catch this daylight, and this is a different camera I'm using, so it may not come out that good, but we'll see. But either way, so I wanted to talk about the first time I went on a hike. So the first time I went on a hike was sorry, I just got a message came through. The first time I went on a hike, I was in Guatemala. I flew to Guatemala because I was on a journey to conquer the whole continent, or the whole area of Central America. And I wanted to go to each country, back to back. So Guatemala was the first stop. And I didn't want to stay there very long because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I actually really know that it was so beautiful. And one girl that I met when I was staying in one of the hostels, she told me to go to this tour called Acatanango, right? So this is a tall mountain that you hike up. So I said, you know what? I'm not really into hiking, but I'll try it, because she was bragging about it, how amazing it was. She showed me the pictures, and the beautiful thing about going up the Acatanango was the fact that you get to see an erupting volcano. It was like an active live volcano that always erupts. So the chances of you seeing it, the lava and everything, it was very high. And not on the actual volcano, obviously, but on the mountain that was, kind of parallel to it. So once you climb up that one, you can see the other one. So I was like, you know what, that would be pretty cool. I've never done that before. And I like to do new things in every country I go to. So fast forward, I go to the city she told me to go to, and I find a tour company. I sign up for this tour. Well, lo and behold, I started looking up the dates, and I noticed that I already paid for my tour, but that particular day it was going to be raining. And I said, I called up the people and I said, hey, can I actually get a change of date? And they told me no. So they're like, rain or snow, we're going to be still going up the mountain. So I was like, maybe it won't be that bad, right? So keep in mind, I was not prepared for a hike, but I still wanted to do it because it was just something to do, right? So I get to the tour, and they started giving out the food, the water. Well, I think they said bring your own water. So I have all of this stuff with me, and I have my backpack, and I have a big heavy coat, gloves, all of this stuff, right? I didn't know. Bear with me for people who hike all the time. This is a new person you're talking about who's never done hiking before. I did not know that I had to carry all this stuff myself. I was thinking there was going to be people to do it for you, which I later found out there was actually people who you could pay to carry your stuff. Well, I didn't know any of this. So I have this big backpack, and it's full of all of these items. Well, we're in the van, and I'm looking around at everybody because I'm always trying to scope out who my possible competition is. So I'm looking around, and I'm seeing quite a few older people. Sorry, that's so loud. I'm near a highway, so it's super loud. But anyways, it's somebody behind me, so hopefully they don't think I'm crazy. But anyways, fast forward, we get to the site, and the site is actually we get there, and I'm looking at, like I said, I was looking around at everybody that was in the car, and I'm seeing quite a few elderly people, and I'm thinking to myself, ooh, they're not going to stand a chance. They're not going to be able to get up that mountain. And I knew that the hike was going to take us between 4 to 6 hours to go up. So I'm thinking, actually I'm not thinking, I'm just ready to go. And I should have thought more into this. So we get to our site, and we start going up the hill. And I said, I'm going to stay next to the guide, because staying next to the guide will put me in a place where I'm like, I won't be lost. I'm going to be right there with him. Within about 10 minutes, I was like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to do this for the next 5 hours. I'm already tired. And I work out every day. I was so mad at myself because I literally work out every single day. And I'm like, I got this. No. You're talking about going uphill, incline for hours. I'm not talking about minutes, hours. So I am completely like, I'm not a quitter, by the way. And I'm like, I can't quit. It's too late. But I don't know how I'm going to survive the next several hours. Like several hours. So we're walking up. And the old people that I didn't think were going to make it, they're already ahead. And I notice there's more and more distance in between us. And I am just like, yeah, this is kind of embarrassing at this point. Because I think I was the youngest person on the trip. And I was at the very end. So one of the guys actually had to stay back with me. Like, that's how far of a distance it was. And the distance just kept getting bigger and bigger. And I'm steady walking up the hill. And also keep in mind, I didn't have on hiking boots. I had on regular tennis shoes. So I'm walking up the hill and I'm just like, this is a nightmare actually. And I'm steady asking, you know how little kids are annoying? They keep asking, are we there yet? Are we there yet? That was me. So I'm steady asking my guide, how much longer is it? And he's like, we got a few hours to go. And I'm just like, Lord have mercy. So we're walking up. And by this time, I'm seeing other groups come. I'm seeing other groups pass me. And I'm like, Lord, they just arrived and they already passing me up. And everybody was like, it's okay, you can do it. It's okay. And I'm all feeling like, this is embarrassing, you know? But I'm like, nevertheless, I'm going to climb up this mountain. I'm going to climb up Acatanango. I'm going to do this, right? So I'm steady walking up. And then we get about halfway and then it starts raining. It starts raining and I am just like, okay, you know what? This is a mess at this point. Like, I'm so tired. My feet hurt. Like, and I have hours to go. You know, it's encouraging if they're like, this is a 45-minute hike, hour hike. You're talking about several hours. So we meet about halfway and he pulls out some fried chicken. I didn't know he had fried chicken in his bag the whole time. And I'm like, yes, Lord. And I don't even eat fried chicken. I actually don't like fried chicken. I don't like the skin on it. But in that moment, after hiking and in the rain, I tore that fried chicken up. I mean, I demolished it. It was fried chicken and it was, I forgot. I want to say like dry pasta or something like that. But whatever it was, I ate it. I needed that fuel and I was hungry. So after we finished eating, we continue our hike. Now by this time, keep in mind, the weather started off at about 80 degrees. Then it moved to about 70, 60. And right now we're probably getting around 50 degrees. And it's getting colder. We're steady going up the mountain. It's cold. I'm soaking wet by this time. I have to pull out my gloves and my big jacket and all of that. And it's so crazy too because initially I was thinking I was just going to be like recording myself like, hey guys, getting ready to go up the hike. And yes, we're getting ready to go here. And this is the scenery here. Reality was that my hands were in these huge man gloves. I could not maneuver any type of camera or anything in these big gloves. It was freezing cold. I'm talking about freezing cold. And one thing about me personally, I do not like cold weather at all. I do not like cold weather. So it was like the misery, the regular misery on top of the misery that I personally don't like. So we're hiking. And I'm steady asking him, how much longer? And he steady telling me, you know, it's 2 hours left, 2.5 hours, whatever the case may be. So we're steady hiking. Of course, along the way, I had to go to the bathroom. So I have to find an area that nobody's at, and I have to go to the bathroom. And you know how hard it is to go to the bathroom when you have your clothes stuck to you because they're soaking wet. So it was a nightmare. I finally go to the bathroom, and there's like this crowd of people come in, and I'm like, you know what? Whatever. You know, they didn't see me completely, but I know they probably saw something because I tried to hurry up and pull up my pants, but they probably saw something, but I didn't care at that point. So fast forward, we're still moving. Keep in mind, the temperature is dropping. So we went from like 80, 70, 60, 50. Now we're at about 40 degrees. We're still going with maybe like an hour and a half left of walking. So we're steady walking. And then I started to see some tents up high. And I'm like, oh my God, I can see something, you know? And keep in mind, temperature steady dropping. So I'm asking the guide, I'm like, how much longer? And he's like, at this point, we got about an hour left. And I'm like, praise the Lord. An hour did not sound that bad, you know? So we're walking. And by this time, the temperature has dropped to about 35 degrees. Still very cold. I'm shivering. I'm literally shaking. I cannot feel my feet at all. My feet are completely frozen. Keep in mind, I hate cold weather. Or I very, very much dislike cold weather. So I get up and finally we're getting to the top where the tents are. Finally reached the top of Acatanango, right? And I remember my guide along the way, he was like, oh, you know, tonight it's going to be cold and you're going to need somebody to warm you up. Maybe I can come and warm you up. And I was like, oh, whatever. But in my mind, I was like, please do, because I'm super cold. Like, I need that, you know? I get to the top of the mountain. We get to the top. They got like a little fire going. And one of the guys comes up to me and says, you're going to be in the tent at the end. And guess what? You get the whole tent by yourself. Really? First of all, I do not want a tent by myself. Who in the world would want a tent by themselves in literally, by this time it was 20 degrees. Who would want to be by themselves in 20-degree weather? Really? And I'm soaking wet. Keep in mind, there's no way to dry off because it's just cold air in a soaking wet body. I go in my tent and I go and change to my next outfit, which was like some leggings and whatever else, a sweater or something. But I am like literally so cold and I can't dry off. I can only, you know, just switch from one clothes to the next, which still leaves you a little damp in the cold weather. So I get to my tent, I change clothes, and then I go back out and we eat dinner. And they made like a big pot of like a sauce, and because we all had pasta in our bags, we brought that up. It's flies out here. But anyways, so after we do that, we get to the top of the mountain and we're making dinner. We eat the pasta and everything like that, and everything was fine. Everybody just talking and mingling and schmingling because, you know, they had been up on top of the mountain probably like an hour and a half before I got there. Because by the time I got there, it started to get dark. And it's like 20 degrees. It's very cold at this point. And we had to wait about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning for the volcano to start erupting. Get to my tent, and I'm thinking about that guy who said he was going to come in there and keep me warm. He never came. He was just joking, I guess. I guess that's what they talk to, you know, I guess that's what they say to tourists or whatever. But I was very disappointed because I really, really needed somebody to keep me warm that day. Sad. But anyways, so about, also too, in the tent, so by this time everybody's getting ready to go to sleep, and I can hear everybody in the other tents making all this noise, getting all cuddled up with everybody. And here I am, literally the only person, the only black person too, in this tent by myself, trying to keep warm in this extremely smelly sleeping bag. And I'm like, Lord, could this get any worse? I'm in this sleeping bag and I cannot get comfortable because I can't feel my toes, I can't feel my fingers, I can't feel anything. It is so miserable. And then I'm just like, Lord, I do not want to have to go to the bathroom. Because if I go to the bathroom, it's going to take forever for me to get comfortable again. And lo and behold, at about midnight, I feel the urge to go to the bathroom. I'm just like, oh my God, this is a nightmare. Do you know how hard it is to get comfortable when you are freezing cold? And especially if you are a person who do not like cold weather. I was like, Lord have mercy. And then the bathroom, the way to use the bathroom is just obviously around the tent corner in an area. And you also have to be careful because it's pitch black dark out there. You have to use your cell phone. There is no way you're going to be able to see anything. I'm talking about it is pitch black dark out there. And keep in mind, a few feet over and you can fall off the cliff. And I'm not joking about that. So you have to strategically walk around your tent into an area that's like more land, you know. Because if you go forward too much, you can slip and fall off the cliff. So I go around the corner, I use the bathroom, and I come back and I have to restart my whole getting comfortable process, which takes lots of tossing and turning and trying to get in the right position and trying to put my hands in between my legs. And it's a horrible, horrible thing, right? So I finally am able to like somewhat doze off, and I hear all this screaming. Everybody's like, oh my God, the volcano, oh my God. So at this time, at about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, the volcano across the way is erupting. It's a beautiful sight to see. It's crazy just to see the earth do things like this. And I'm like, you know what, at this point, I'm not going to see nothing. I'm just going to stay in this tent until the morning. I did not want to even get up at that point. I didn't even care about the volcano at that point. It was such a horrible process getting there. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even care. But I was like, you know what? I came all the way up here to see this volcano, so let me go and do this. So I unzip the tent. I get out there, and I'm able to get all these shots, right? I'm able to see the volcano erupting. It was like really cool to like see the volcano coming down see the lava, coming down the volcano. And I got some videos of it. I got lots of footage of it. And it's just a really good sight. It's a really cool sight to see. So I ended up getting that footage, and everybody was celebrating and stuff like that. And some people even took a hike higher to get like a different view of it. And I was like, no, thank you. Went back in my tent, went to sleep. Next morning, it dawned on me, I still got to get back down this mountain. And it took me 5.5 hours to get up the mountain. 5.5 hours walking on an incline with tennis shoes on. So the thought of going down the hill, yes, going down is better than going up, but it still takes a lot of manpower to go down because you have to constantly, if you have tennis shoes on, you have to constantly like withhold yourself from sliding down. So it still takes just as much might. Well, I overheard some people talking about an emergency horse. And they were talking about how somebody had got injured and they need a horse to come and get them. And I was like, oh my God, an emergency horse? Let me try to fake an injury so I can get down on a horse. And I was trying to figure out how I could get on that emergency horse, which it didn't work out because the horse, I think whoever was injured or whatever, they ended up agreeing to just walk down by themselves. And I'm like, oh my God. So I had to literally mentally prepare for going back down the hill. But the good thing was there was no raining this time. It was sunny. It was a beautiful day. And we were able to see the volcano in the daylight. You know, of course we got beautiful pictures of that. Sunrise, all that was beautiful. So we good to going back down the hill. I slipped so many times because of, like I said, I had on tennis shoes, so that wasn't the best. And slowly but surely, we're going down the hill, and I finally reached the bottom. So, what will I say about the tour of Acatanango? That tour was very, it was quite an experience, especially for someone like me who is not a hiker. I don't go hiking, so I don't know anything about hiking. I don't know anything, you know. I just knew that it was something that somebody recommended. They said you cannot leave this country if you don't do it. And I said, I'm down for it. I'm always down for a new adventure all the time. So I went, I conquered it. It was a very crazy experience, especially sleeping alone by myself in the freezing cold. But I do feel like a strong person. Would I ever do it again? I don't think I would, because I don't see a reason to. I've already done it. Because I'm not a hiker, I don't see myself going on multiple hikes in my life. So yeah, I don't think so. So if you are about to go to the Acatanango, hike, I want you to know that you can do it. It took me 5.5 hours, I believe, to get to the top, and it took me almost the same amount of time to get down, maybe an hour less or 45 minutes less. But it was definitely quite the experience. But if you are down for the cause and you are in Guatemala, go to Antigua, you can do it. You can do it. Trust me. If I can do it, you can do it. Let this be an encouragement to you. You can climb up that mountain. You won't be seeing me doing it again, though. So have fun and tell me about your experience.